First off, thank you for having me here tonight in Everett. Thank you for being here and for receiving me as I come to your community. And I look forward to answering as many questions as we possibly can. I'm going to keep these remarks very short. But let me say a couple things. First off, Reverend, Madam Director, we need to hang out more often. I need more of that in my life from what I just saw. I am so touched that you will be willing to pull everybody together here this evening to help engage in this conversation, and inspired by the leadership that you just showed over the course of the past 20 minutes or so. But thank you very, very much. Director, thank you for all of your work and what you did to make this possible as well. And I hope I get everybody here right, but to Nahili and Jonathan and Sharisa and San and Juanweda and Berlins and Brianna and Angel and Joey and David. This was one of the more remarkable moments I've had over the course of the past 6 months on a campaign trail. I have done hundreds, literally hundreds of stops around the state. We have been out from Pittsfield, we were down on the Cape earlier today. We have gone up to Gloucester, we have covered literally hundreds of communities. But I haven't actually been to a community yet that has said, with the attention that comes with the campaign visit, let us show you our best asset, let us show you our future. And let us show you what inspires them. And the individuals who you cited, from Shirley Chisholm, to Tucson Lobucher, to Ruby Bridges, to President Obama, to Rosa Parks, to Frederick Douglass and Martin Luther King, that they represent the best of what this nation aspires to be, but a place that we have not yet reached. And to hear that from each and every one of you in this room tonight, and from one of the most exciting and inspiring young leaders that we have in Massachusetts. That is seeking to leverage the power of her position to empower others. It's the ultimate goal of, I think, what the line that connects all of the leaders that all of you just said. And I'm so honored to be here tonight under that umbrella and in the auspices of that conversation. So thank you. And to Councilor Adrian, thank you. So thank you for running. Thank you for helping facilitate this conversation tonight. But thank you as well for the type of leadership that you have shown this evening. Because it is the type of leadership that I hope to be able to bring to the United States Senate. What you've seen here tonight is not what often happens in my visits over the course of the campaign. It's not where an elected official says, hey, that's great, you're coming to a community, come to my office, we're going to engage in a conversation, and then we'll take a photo op, and then see you later. And maybe I want your phone number, or maybe there's something I want from you. You want my help? Well, this is what I need from you. What she said was, you want to come to Everett? Then come to Everett. Let me show you my community. I want you to get to know my community, to meet my community, to engage with my community, and understand the vibrance and the passion and the dedication and the love that is here, and the challenges that Everett confronts. So come here and listen, and ask those questions and answer them. But she did this to get a candidate for the United States Senate to come here and answer your questions and to listen. And I can't think of a more powerful platform, a more powerful way to use the platform that Gurley has just earned than what she has done here this evening. So thank you once again. And Mr. Capone, thank you also very much for being here tonight. Very kind of you to be here. Thank you for your mentorship and leadership as well. Mentorship for Gurley. And it is often commented that the toughest job in politics are local elected officials, and good luck to you both. Suerte, as they say. So let me just tell you a very little bit about me, and a little bit about what I hope to bring to this job, and then let's get in a conversation for, I don't know how long we have here, but until you guys kick me out. We'll do that. First off, so I was born and raised around Boston. I went off to college in California. I studied engineering. I loved math because you could get the right answer, and then I couldn't get the right answer anymore, and I gave that up and went off to do something else. And I spent a couple years actually as a Peace Corps volunteer. Some of you might know the organization, in the Dominican Republic. And I bounced around the country a little bit for parts of the training in Santo Domingo and then in the mountains in the middle of the country, but I spent much of my time actually in the northern part of the country. About an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from the border with Haiti, near Dajabon, which is the biggest border town in the northern part of the country. Yeah. And I was living on the edge of a sugarcane plant. The town was called Ingenio Amistad, which was after a refinery, sugar refinery that was there, that had been shut down in privatization. And most of my work centered around this local Dominican group that I was helping. But about a mile down the road was a series of batees, where Haitians had been brought in by the sugarcane company to cut the cane. The first time I went through there was about a couple hundred people in these 3 or 4 batees that were there. And each family lived in essentially a stall. And it was as visceral a circumstance of a quality of life, and as challenging a circumstance that I have seen in all of my travels around this planet. And that experience that I had with that community called Better One, in trying to help that community, and largely, candidly, not all that successful. But there's not a day that goes by where I do not draw on that experience now as a member of the United States Congress and in a campaign. To understand that if you want to be truly successful in this job, you cannot do that. Diagnosing a problem in a community is not necessarily difficult. Working with a community to come up with a solution when there are structures beyond your control can be essentially impossible. And what that experience told me was, when there's a sugar industry that will take advantage of immigration laws and exploit immigrant labor, when there's a business that actually benefits by turning a blind eye to human rights abuses, when there is an industry that is made to profit off of a lack of protections basic protections for an entire population and a local community, the consequences of which will ripple on for generations. And there was no single one thing that any one person could wholly do about it. But there is something that we collectively can. And that collective, is what government seeks to be. It is the way in which we channel those voices. It is the way in which we band together to take on those structures that so disenfranchised a Haitian population in the Dominican Republic. But that also leads me to ask the question that Gurley posed to me when I got out of the car in the first 2 minutes this evening. You know a little bit about Everett. You've been here before, and we have. And we will be here again, and I promise. But if you know this place to be the vibrant, diverse, incredible place that it is, then how is it that there are only 8 Black-owned businesses here? What are the structural barriers that we confront? And how is it we can take them down? And how is it that a United States Senator can be helpful at ensuring that we empower you and your children in the way that they so beautifully articulated tonight? And that is what I hope to do through this race, is to prove it to you. And I hope over the course of the weeks and months ahead to earn your support and your trust and eventually your vote. But even if I can't do that, if I'm successful with this effort, I promise to you is that we will do everything I can. Have meetings like this one, pull as many people as we can together, and then turn the mic over and say, let me hear from you so that my team can do everything we can to assist you to be able to meet your goals and your dreams and empower your community. Because if this community succeeds, I will have done my job. And if we don't, then I won't. And there's no greater barometer of success as an elected official than that. So thank you for having me tonight. Thank you for being here. Let's start the conversation.